Yo, 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 yo. Back in this bitch. Another time today, real quick. Little video. As shit, how am I gonna start this? As I was watching that Chris Wong video this morning about how they messed up Suicide Squad. And there was some fights between Batman and Joker that was supposed to be in there. Joker and Deadshot. Fucking Deadshot, Batman. We saw a little bit of that. They said they took a lot of different scenes out. Um, I mean, it was still a good movie. It made decent money. It was a good movie. I enjoyed watching it. I still watch it on Blu-ray. But when you look at it, like, why would they take out all the good stuff? You know, like the other day I interviewed Sean O'Connell, right? And we talked about, he was saying how Zack Snyder didn't get to 1 billion. And I don't know if I touched on it hard enough, or maybe I should have. You know how there was a dark cloud around Zack Snyder's name, like they were trying to make it like he was the worst guy ever. His movies are too, like, they even call that shit unwatchable or some shit like that, right? But it was the whole DCEU that they were messing with. Not just Zack Snyder, they was messing with David Ayer too. They were like sabotaging the early stages of DCEU. Because all this good shit, everybody know David Ayer can make great movies. Everybody knows Zack Snyder makes great movies. Put them two putting their minds together and making a universe, and the guys behind the scenes showing something else and taking out all the good stuff. It shows like it wasn't just after Zack Snyder. It was after Zack Snyder because Zack Snyder was the head of it, all of that shit at the time. So it was kind of going at him, but it was chipping away from the bottom also, from Suicide Squad. So now, it's like, why you got to think, like, why would they do some shit like that? Why would that happen? And when hindsight is always 2020, but looking back at it, Endgame, Black Panther, that last little stretch for Marvel when they kept just hitting billions of dollars, $2 billion, whatever. That's Disney, right? If Suicide Squad wasn't touched, if the media wasn't going after Zack Snyder and, basically condemning everything he does, and we got to see these movies like we want, I think there would be no interest in seeing Endgame or any of those movies. Any of those movies that Disney had to compete, right? Or they thought they had to compete. They wanted to compete, but there was no way they could compete. So, you ever think, like, this shit goes so deep that Disney helped interfere with, like, Jeff Johns and his little crew and blah, blah, blah to make sure that they can stall out the DCEU? Not only stalling it out, making Zack Snyder the fall guy, blaming it on Zack Snyder. You ever wonder how deep this shit really goes? Because when you look at it, there's no reason why you should take that many good scenes out of Suicide Squad. There's no reason you should have done that. What you did, not put out the Ultimate Edition first of Batman vs Superman because it was rated R and you wanted to stay PG-13 to compete like with Marvel. You didn't want to be too dark. Plus, you had the merger coming along, AT&T and fucking Warner Brothers getting together. But at that time, Disney was trying to buy everybody at the same time. So, how deep? Because could this shit really go? Because that shit don't make no sense. It don't make any sense why you would sabotage your own universe, unless your competitors paid you enough or promised you enough behind the scenes. Because the only one that will want to really sabotage the DCEU is their competitor, is Disney. Like, we look at it, we focus on it, it happened in-house. We talk about Jeff Johns and all his people, right? But they were DC Warner Brothers also, right? The people, like, if you watch like a little spy movie or whatever, the people who do the dirty deeds or whatever, they're not the boss. They're just the hit people, right? But somebody else is the boss telling them to do that shit. All right, so they cut up Suicide Squad. They misrepresented Batman versus Superman. They misrepresented, and they cut up Justice League. And they hit a bunch of characters because some crew wanted. It looked like Zack Snyder had all the best characters, and he was doing what he was doing. But the CW may have wanted some of these characters or something like that. But it looked like they took out a bunch of characters and held them for each other, for themselves, because Zack Snyder was already bringing in Darkseid, which means to give Ava DuVernay the New Gods. Zack Snyder was already setting up the New Gods. He's already picked who Darkseid was going to be. So to do that in the middle of messing up Justice League, green light and Shazam wasn't in Justice League, or I don't know, was he in Justice League or not, but I haven't heard of anything. But usually when Martian Manhunter is in the league, Shazam is not the other character, especially when you got Cyborg also. And Zack Snyder had Cyborg and was making a whole nice little story arc with Cyborg. And somebody wanted to do a Teen Titans. Somebody probably didn't want that Cyborg story arc. Or maybe they wanted to steal from it and use it later. Just like they wanted to steal from the Deathstroke story arc and use it later, maybe. Because look, all of these characters were coming out later in their little Jeff Johns streaming service, DC Universe shit, whatever. All the while, Disney was capitalizing tremendously. Whether they were doing it fake and buying their own tickets or whatever, they were still capitalizing tremendously. So Disney escaped doom before all of these billion-dollar movie shit came out, right? Disney escaped Suicide Squad that would have had more Joker. We all love to see Jared Leto as Joker. Would have had Batman maybe fight Joker. Deathstroke, Deadshot fight Joker. Deadshot fight Batman more. You had all these great scenes that Zack Snyder has been showing us. There's no way they did that on accident. There is no way all of that shit happened on accident. And the only people who benefit, that's how you always get to find these shit out. Who benefits from it? Disney benefited from it because they got to put out all the fake ass Zack Snyder movies that, all the imitation Zack Snyder movies Disney got to put out. All this time traveling and multi-universe shit Disney has used in their shit already. But Zack Snyder was coming with it. And Zack Snyder with the characters of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, plus how great Zack Snyder makes movies. Nobody would have cared about Thanos and Avengers. It was the Deathstroke, no pun intended, was visible, obvious Disney had some people in Warner Brothers, and Disney prevented the Deathstroke by basically enacting Order 66. Everybody who likes Star Wars know about that, or whatever order that was when they killed all the Jedi. That's what that shit fucking was, though, because it don't, like, Zack Snyder got shit on, definitely, but so did David Ayer. And it probably was personal attack against Zack Snyder, but what their art was about to do, Zack Snyder and David Ayer, was about to be crazy. And Patty Jenkins, because the first Wonder Woman was involved, and Zack Snyder kind of helped out with that. So did he help out Aquaman, right? But when now you look at Shazam, was supposed to be about kids, like for kids, kind of. Disney movies are for kids. Shazam wasn't involved in the Justice League. Zachary Levi is going out shitting on Zack Snyder. That is protecting Jeff Johns' interests. Also, you can see from our little crew on the inside what was going on with our crews on the inside also. Maybe that's for a whole new conversation. But at the same time, all this shit was going on. Or at the tail end when we finally start getting organized online. These same people who we talk about, we feel were infiltrating our circles and sending us bad intelligence, bad news, bad everything, just like I saw the Chris Wong the Chris Wong video again. Shout out to Chris Wong. He did a video where he read one of Garza's articles, or Real Anarchy's articles, and he basically, as a gentleman like he always is, he ripped that shit to shreds. But if you look at his video, he basically was like, he just disagreed with a lot of points in the article. But back in the day, remember when we didn't know to disagree with points in these articles, or disagree with blue check people, or disagree with just little cronies that you have in your chat rooms, like on Twitter or Vero. Dog, this was like a massive, and it's probably even more massive than we fucking discussed today, and we'll probably get into that later on Go Deep. But this was like a fucking, I don't think the world has ever seen anything like the Snyder Cut movement or the situation that happened with Zack Snyder. Like Sean O'Connell said on the interview, he said that was probably the biggest initiation of the biggest wave in Hollywood history. That was the beginning of the biggest wave in Hollywood history. And I think if we figure this shit the fuck out, we will see a lot of foul shit. And maybe that'll make us go harder. I don't know. We gotta go harder though. We gotta go harder because, like I said yesterday, these algorithm shit is gonna start picking over on all the words we say anyway, all the requests we have anyway, and everybody's using the algorithm. Warner Brothers not the only one using the algorithm. Whoever gets into this 5G shit is starting to use artificial intelligence. So that's going to be huge for us because everybody's getting in 5G. T-Mobile, AT&T, Warner Brothers, everybody, even the movie theaters are going to start using 5G. Everybody's going to start using these AI algorithms, and that's where we can win. So we got to keep going strong. Everybody out there, y'all make y'all's own little fucking video. Upload it on YouTube. Put it on Twitter. That's what y'all can do. Everybody needs to start making y'all's own podcasts. Everybody needs to start making their own videos and start talking. Start really voicing your opinion because your words now are going to be fucking paid attention to. The middleman is gone. the AI is here. Make your words fucking powerful. Say your shit, make a video, say something about it. And that's how we can become even stronger than we are now. Everybody needs a podcast. Everybody needs at least a YouTube page with videos. And by the way, subscribe to my shit. Stop watching it for free. Just subscribe. That's all I ask you. Subscribe and like, actually. I ask you for two things. With you, a very, easily can be done. Yeah, bitch.